Hey there guys, welcome to the garage. Figured I'd start making some videos trying to document a little bit of what I've been doing here with the Model A. It's a 1931 Ford Model A Roadster with a 29 engine, January 29. She's had a lot of work done to her, but been sitting in the garage for 40 years or so. Hasn't started since mid 80s, I guess. About 25 years she was sat before I got to her, and then I started cleaning her up and got stuck and sat another 15 years. But we're back at it, so I thought I'd just document some of the stuff that we've been doing and show you what's up. I found videos on YouTube to be helpful for me. So today's adventure in crud and muck is tearing apart the oil pump. I finally got the oil pump out, took a little hammering, started getting a little bit more confident with not breaking stuff, but usually don't want to hit things too hard. You don't want to take your day out on it, but was able to get it out with a little bit of persuasion. And today we're just trying to get it cleaned up, got it all taken apart. The gears look fine, and they're just dirty and cruddy and mucky. So now that they're cleaned up, they're looking looks fine. That's looking all right. Now I did have one of these lock washers here was busted, so I had to replace that. That's no big deal though. But the plate holding that spring on the bottom, it just sits in the oil pan, and there's a spring. Well, this is the shaft down here, and here's your other gear. This is looking pretty good too. See, it's just dirty, but it was all right. I just cleaned this shaft up and got the crud off, took a wire brush to it, and so this is gonna lock in up here, right? And then this is up in the engine, and this bit will spin, right? There's a worm gear down here, or a gear that's in the engine that's being driven by the drive shaft. And then this is just a keeper up here, right? So it's just holding spring loaded and then spring loaded down at the bottom. So it's sort of allowed to bounce and free flow there. Nothing holding it solidly in place. But I got this out, it's cleaned up, it spins pretty good. It'll be all right. The gears are good to go, so that'll be fine, I think. Distributor cam, on the other hand, nah, pretty much shot. I think that's just done. I might keep this just as a emergency replacement, but I had to drill it out, and I drilled a hole in it, so yeah. Thinking I'm just gonna have to get a new distributor anyway. So anyway, the oil pump's looking all right. The gears are fine. It spun all right. I did destroy this gasket. I think it's a gasket. I'm almost positive it's a gasket. Little paper. I don't think that's dried oil. It's hard to tell with this car what's just crusted up oil and what's actually a piece, but I'm pretty sure that's a gasket it was not very good to begin with, but it's busted up. So that's going to be a sticking point putting the thing back together, is that gasket. I need to get another one, replace it with something. Now the other sticky business on this, this is the actual oil pump here, right? Now I don't think this is an original, because the originals have bolts on the top that you can take this, you remove those bolts and you can take this out. Helps to clean it out. I can't figure out, I think it's welded on there, either welded or it was screwed on and then soldered, I guess. I don't know, there's gotta be a way to get down in there, but this copper bushing goes all the way through, right? I'm not trying to, pull this apart and mess up that copper bushing. So I'm trying to do the best I can to just scrape that stuff out of there with it intact. This is, the interior's not too bad now. I cleaned it out, but there's still some gunky stuff all up in there. Let's try to get at it. And then this is the oil pump filter. So it came out pretty easy, which is nice, but it was pretty freaking gunked up, man. So got to clean this out. Get that cleaned out and put back in together. But the other thing I wanted to show you, hopefully you'll be able to see it here, but this was sitting in the oil pan, so that's where it's getting all that crusted gunky muck. So what it's like though, it's weird because, see, let's see if I can show you. It's like a thick crusty, but it looks like rust underneath, and that, oh, I can't see what I'm doing. See, it's like a lighter brown. Do you see underneath there? When I first started cleaning this engine, I find that everywhere, and I thought it was rust, but I don't think it is. I think it's some kind of, I don't know whether it's the oil that they used. It turned like a light brown, but this is what I'm having to do. This is this type of crusty, gunky stuff that's all over freaking everything in that motor, which is why I've had to take the dang thing apart. So, working on cleaning this. Other than getting the gasket together, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Can't put it back together really without the gasket on, I don't think. I was trying to figure whether it was really all that necessary because it should be submerged in oil all the time. It shouldn't really matter if it's sucking from the bottom, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to probably look it up. Anyway, that's where we're at. Getting the oil pump all cleaned up and taken apart, and then we'll put her all back together and not put her back in yet, but we'll see how it goes.